Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to talk about two new palettes that are out. One is a bit controversial, the other is very anticipated for a very long time. So I figured I would just go ahead and do a whole video on just these two eyeshadow palettes. So let's get to it. So the first palette is the new Toasted Tartelette by Tarte Cosmetics. This has been very highly anticipated. There's been little sneak peeks of this for months and months, and then it finally has been released. I believe you can get this at Tarte website. I don't believe it's available on Ulta or Sephora until towards the end of this month. But this is the palette itself. It's beautiful packaging. When you open it up, it does have a full-size mirror, and then these are the shades. So, of course, when I first saw this palette, it immediately spoke to me because of the warm colors in this palette. It does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mattes. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 shimmers, 1 really sparkly glitter, and 1 satin. So you get kind of a good blend, and the colors are the typical Tarte formula. They're very smooth, very creamy. They blend really well. I did a couple of looks with this, so I have cracked into it already. And you know, it's okay. The price point on this little sucker, it's $46, and then, you know, with shipping you can get over $50 for this palette. So that is quite a hefty price tag. Here is where I kind of went astray a little bit from this palette. So when I first opened it, I noticed right off the bat that I love the colors, but this color in particular, I was like, you know what? I feel like I have seen this palette before, and it's kind of crazy, but I know it's brand new and there's no way I could have seen it before. So let me kind of go through my palettes and see what the deal is. So this is what I would recommend to you guys. If you already own the Swamp Queen palette from Tarte. Alright, so the Swamp Queen palette is a limited edition palette that has been around forever and will probably continue to be around. It goes on and off sale all the time. I've seen it as low as $18. The retail on it is like $45. It's currently on sale on their website for $36. And for those of you guys that don't know who a Graveyard Girl is, she's a YouTuber, and she did a collab with Tarte and came out with this Swamp Queen palette, which I love. However, when you open this palette, and excuse it because it has seen lots of love, this is what the palette looks like. This is supposed to be a bronzer, this is supposed to be a blush, and this is supposed to be a highlight, and then you have these eyeshadows here. And this is the color that I knew looked familiar to me. And it's because, as you can see, I've almost hit pan on this color. I actually really like this color a lot, and I've used it quite a bit. So, if you look at this palette, and I know that the light is quite shiny off of these palettes, but we're going to try and do this upside down kind of comparison here. Here are the two palettes. So, as you can see, they are incredibly similar when it comes to color. Of course, there are some colors in the Toasted palette that aren't in the Swamp Queen palette. However, my opinion is that if you own the Swamp Queen palette, don't get the Toasted palette. It's not worth it as far as the colors that are not in this, that are in this one. There's just not, I mean, honestly, so I can honestly match up almost all of these colors. So you have a dark purple, you have the burnt shade, you have the peachy shade, you have the bone shade, you have the kind of goldy tone shade. The only shade that it looks like is not included below, I mean, even this is like the same tone as the bronzer. This is like identical to the highlight. For me, there's just so much that is so close that I was very disappointed. I really wanted this to be like Tarte's version of like the Urban Decay Naked Heat. I really thought that's kind of what they were going for with that toasted theme, but to repeat so many of the shades that are so similar to another palette that you have out into production, and then, you know, somebody pays over $50 for replication of a palette that they already have and a palette that you sell currently on your website. And like I said, at times I've seen it go on sale for as low as $18 before. It just, it frustrated me a little bit. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is a Tarte product, so they work fine. They blend fine. I will just say that if you own this palette, skip out on this palette. If you don't own this palette, you can get it cheaper, and it also has a blush and highlight in there that you can use as eyeshadow, and it has like the same quality shadows in it as this. You're not really missing out on anything. So for that reason, for me, I am not going to recommend this one to you guys. Unless, you know, if this is speaking to you, then definitely go out and purchase it and enjoy it. It's just not something that I feel comfortable with as far as recommending it to you guys to go out and purchase it on your own when you can get pretty much the same palette a little bit cheaper from the same company. So that's my opinion on that. Hey guys, so the next palette I'm actually very excited about. For those of you who don't know who Laura Lee is, she is a YouTuber. She has her own channel. It's called Laura Lee Los Angeles. Recently, she launched some merch on her YouTube channel where you can get some cute t-shirts and some hats that are really, really super cute. And, you know, they're all branded with her Laura Lee brand. And Laura Lee is just like a Southern girl. She is a little obnoxious, a little quirky, and she's a lot of fun to watch, and I've always enjoyed her videos. Now, for whatever reason, she is very controversial as a YouTuber. She has clapped back at some of her haters, and for doing that, she's gotten a lot of flack. She seems to always be in the drama circle of things going on with beauty YouTubers. It does seem like she's always right there in the middle of the mix, sometimes helping to stir the pot. But, you know, whatever, it is what it is. She has millions of followers, and she's a beautiful, beautiful person, and I personally enjoy her look. She uses a lot of warm tones. She uses a lot of warm tone shadows, so when I'm out looking for like a new look, and I want to try maybe a new eye look, on the eye, I do tend to gravitate towards her channels because she works in the colors that I'm comfortable with. So I do watch her quite often. Well, there's been some talk for a couple of months on her channel that she's launching her own makeup brand, and she finally revealed that it was a palette. The minute that she revealed that she had a palette coming out, boy, everybody just kind of piled on when it came to her palette. Everything from the design of the palette not being cohesive or making any sense, the palette looking the same, and the colors have been done. I can get this palette anywhere with these colors in it. It's the price point. I mean, it really turned into kind of a pile-on about her eyeshadow palette. She is somebody that took the time to make sure that her palette was made and produced in the USA. And she did it herself. So she didn't go to like a Morphe and just say, hey, can I slap my name across one of your palettes and call it a Laura Lee palette? She actually, according to her, was involved in the formulas, the creation of the palette from beginning to end. It took several years for her to make, and it was a labor of love for her subscribers, and that is what she says. So, obviously, with all of the controversy going on, I had to see for myself what I thought about the palette. So, without further ado, packaging was really cute. It came in this cute little pink box. You open it up and it says Laura Lee Los Angeles here, and it came in this really cute pink tissue paper. So the packaging was great. It was very, very secured in all of that tissue paper, and then it had a layer of bubble wrap around it, which you all know I appreciate it when they secure their palettes during shipping so that I don't get a shattered palette, as has happened to me in the past. The box looks like this when you first get it. She has the silver stamp here that says the Laura Lee Los Angeles. It's just a pretty pink flowered box. When you open the palette, it is this beautiful, glittery packaging on the outside, and it is like stunningly glittery. And it's not like that obnoxious glitter where you touch it and it just like falls all over everything that you own. It's not like that. It's a very smooth glitter that's very pressed into the packaging, but it's very, very glittery and very shiny, and I think it's very pretty. So you open it up and it continues inside with the floral design, and it has this cute little mirror here that has the flowers around it, and then these are the actual colors themselves. And I'll get rid of the plastic insert for you guys, which, by the way, this insert is actually really like thick and hard. And I was watching one of her videos and she said she specifically went for one of these kind of harder plastic inserts because she's heard that a lot of people use these as palettes for pumping their foundation on and using that instead of like the back of their hand. And I thought that was a really good idea. So I was like, I'm gonna save this and I'm gonna use that for that because I think that's a really good idea. Anyway, back to the palette. So here are the pans, really big size pans. And they're, you know, they're much bigger than like the Toasted Tartelette that we just looked at. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you get 10 of these pans. You get 1, 2, 3, 4 mats. I would say this is like a semi-matte. And then these two are like satins. These two are really pretty good, like metallics, and this is kind of a shimmery one as well. This is what I have to say about the formula of this palette. All joking and nonsense aside, with all of the haters out there that are like, oh my god, like these colors, they say a lot of these colors like look alike. A lot of people are freaking out because they're like, I have, you know, 6 palettes that have all of these colors in it anyway. I don't have some of these colors in my other palettes, and I actually like this palette for that reason. I like this palette, number one, because it is a palette that you can throw in an overnight bag and have several looks out of one palette. Mainly because it has a nice bone highlighter color that's a matte, and it also has a nice black. A lot of palettes don't have those two. So a lot of times when you're traveling with palettes, you're forced to carry multiple palettes so that you have a black or you have that highlighter bone color. It has a great transition shade in it. This would be a great transition shade. got the browns that you can work with, and then over here it has some of the taupe and purple colors that you can work with, so you can get several looks out of it. I like the formula of these as well. It's very pigmented, it's very luxurious. I would put these up against a Marc Jacobs or the Sephora Warm palette, which is one of my favorite palettes as far as formula is concerned. I would put these pans up against those palettes any day. The color payoff is just beautiful. That's the transition color. That's Bomb Diggity, that's here. And my fingers are dirty. This is Cray Cray. I'll put that right next to it. And do you see how smooth and just, you can tell just by that swatch, there's no patchiness in it at all. And it's very obvious just by looking at this palette, she did involve herself in the formula and the making of this palette, because it absolutely shows in the color, it shows in the payoff of these colors and the formula of these colors. They have genuinely been formulated with lots of tender loving care. Look at that cranberry color and how gorgeous that is. That is so pretty. And then this is Kooky, which is kind of like more of a dark purple matte color. Look at how smooth these swatches are, guys. Do you see that? No patches, very smooth. The blendability of these, it's one of those where it just kind of blends itself. And I can't say enough good things about this palette. The price point is like 40, God, look at that gold color. That is so pretty. So the price point of this is $40. And to be honest with you guys, especially after just paying $49 for this, and the quality of this is nowhere near the quality of this, I am not mad at the price point of this palette at all. I definitely can tell you right now that this will be one of my most used palettes. I will probably reach for this palette a ton just because of the performance of the shadows. This is probably one of the highest quality shadows that I have ever used before, and I am very happy with the quality of this palette. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of got sucked into the drama and all the shade that was being thrown around on the internet of people that were just upset for one reason or another that she created her own eyeshadow palette. And I'm really, really glad that I didn't allow that to determine whether or not I purchased this palette. The quality of these shadows, you guys, this is absolutely Erica approved, and I would actually encourage you guys, if you want just to invest in a good quality shadow, then go to Laura Lee Cosmetics. I think it's lauraleelosangeles.com and order one of these palettes. These shadows are truly unbelievable, guys. Very, very, very happy with this palette. And that's it, guys. That was the only two palettes that I wanted to discuss with you. If you guys have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to put your comments down below. I will always get back to you. I always reach out and respond. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And I will see you guys later. Mwah.